What if there were locations on Earth so secluded and untouched that even the most daring explorers hesitate to venture near? These remote corners of our planet, preserved by nature and shielded from human reach, exude an aura of intrigue and wonder. But what makes these places so difficult to access, and what hidden stories might lie behind their unyielding barriers? Join us as we unravel the mysteries surrounding the world's most isolated and uncharted destinations. Number 1. Mariana Trench. The Mariana Trench, Earth's deepest oceanic trench, spans more than 1,580 miles in the western Pacific Ocean near Guam. At its southernmost point lies the Challenger Deep, nearly 11,000 meters below the ocean's surface. Here, the pressure is over 1,000 times greater than at sea level, creating an environment that defies what we understand about life. This trench is also home to the Sarisarinama Deep, the second deepest spot in the ocean, plunging to 35,462 feet. Despite its extreme conditions, the trench supports a rich ecosystem. Unique creatures like the Dumbo octopus and anglerfish thrive in total darkness and freezing temperatures. Additionally, hydrothermal vents in the trench harbor organisms that depend on chemosynthesis, a process where energy comes from chemical reactions rather than sunlight. Human exploration of this alien world has been incredibly rare. The first manned descent took place in 1960 when Jacques Piccard and U.S. Navy Lieutenant Don Walsh navigated the bathyscaphe Trieste to the Challenger Deep. More than 50 years later, in 2012, filmmaker James Cameron made a groundbreaking solo dive, collecting invaluable data. Still, less than 5% of the trench has been explored, leaving countless mysteries waiting to be uncovered. In 2009, the Mariana Trench Marine National Monument was established to protect this fragile and extraordinary ecosystem. Spanning approximately 95,216 square miles, this conservation area safeguards the trench and its volcanic surroundings, balancing the drive for exploration with the need for preservation. While the Mariana Trench pushes the limits of life in the deepest parts of the ocean, Heard and McDonald Islands take us to the edge of the world, where fire and ice combine to create one of the planet's most untouched and striking landscapes. Number 2. Heard and McDonald Islands. Nestled in the southern Indian Ocean, Heard Island and McDonald Islands rank among Earth's most remote and desolate locations. They sit roughly 4,000 kilometers southwest of Perth, Australia, and 2,000 kilometers north of Antarctica's Davis Station. Discovered in 1853 by American sailor John Heard, Heard Island spans around 368 square kilometers. Its dominant feature is Big Ben, a colossal volcanic complex topped by Mawson Peak, Australia's highest mountain at 2,745 meters, over 500 meters taller than Mount Kosciuszko. Nearly 80% of the island is cloaked in glaciers, reflecting its frigid, unforgiving climate. Roughly 44 kilometers west lie the McDonald Islands, a smaller group consisting of McDonald Island, Flat Island, and Meyer Rock. Named after William McDonald, who discovered them, these islands have undergone striking volcanic changes since the 1980s, doubling their size and giving geologists a rare chance to study active geological processes. Despite their rugged terrain, these islands are a sanctuary for wildlife. Penguins, seals, and seabirds thrive here, and the site was declared a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1997. It is protected under the strictest conservation measures, Level 1A by the International Union for Conservation of Nature, ensuring the islands stay pristine and mostly untouched, with human access strictly limited. In the late 1800s, sealers arrived and nearly eradicated the seal population. The islands were claimed by Britain in 1910, later transferred to Australia in 1947, and are now managed by the Australian Antarctic Division. Only researchers with special permits may visit, and the island's isolation and severe climate make them a critical location for studying climate change in a pristine, untouched environment. What drives some to endure isolation on Tristan da Cunha, a distant outpost of humanity, while Heard and McDonald Islands remain uninhabited, untouched, and ruled by nature alone? Before we move forward, I have a quick 10-second favor to ask. If you enjoy this content, please press the notification bell and hit subscribe. It means the world to us and helps us keep this channel growing. If you do, I promise to bring you even more fascinating stories. Deal? Number 3. Tristan da Cunha. Tristan da Cunha, one of the most remote inhabited island chains in the world, sits nearly 1,400 miles south of St. Helena in the South Atlantic Ocean. Reaching this isolated destination is no easy task. Travelers from the United States must take a 15-hour flight to Cape Town, South Africa, followed by a 6-day boat trip. With no airstrip due to the rugged terrain, the only way to arrive is by sea. As of 2023, Tristan da Cunha is home to just 238 residents, all living in its only settlement, Edinburgh of the Seven Seas. The community is highly self-reliant, with fishing, farming, and crafting serving as the main sources of income. Modern amenities are sparse. There is just one cafe, a small hospital, a school, and limited internet access. The island has no phone network or local newspaper, so people rely on word of mouth for communication. This remote island has a fascinating history. Discovered in 1506 by Portuguese explorer Tristan da Cunha, it became a permanent settlement in 1816 with the establishment of a British garrison. Today, the islanders, who are descendants of settlers from the United Kingdom, the Netherlands, Italy, and the United States, share just 7 surnames. They even speak a unique dialect of English, making theirs the world's smallest linguistic community. Education on the island takes place in a 5-classroom school for children aged 3 to 16, while healthcare and spiritual needs are met by visiting professionals who stay temporarily. Tourism is tightly controlled. Since the COVID-19 pandemic, the island has been closed to visitors, with plans to reopen only after booster vaccinations are completed. Even under normal circumstances, access is rare. Only a handful of fishing vessels stop here each year, making it one of the hardest destinations to reach on the planet. Would you consider spending a year on Tristan da Cunha, completely cut off from the conveniences of modern life, to experience its unique culture and isolation firsthand? Share your thoughts in the comments and stay tuned for more incredible stories about the world's most remote and fascinating places. Number 4. Motuo County. Motuo, a county in eastern Tibet, is often referred to as China's last frontier. Despite significant progress in infrastructure, it remains the only county in China without a fully reliable highway. Spanning over 30,000 square kilometers, Motuo is home to about 10,000 people, primarily from the Mamba and Luoba ethnic groups. The region's subtropical humid climate brings spring-like conditions throughout the year, with dense forests, plentiful rainfall, and remarkable biodiversity. Amazingly, tropical fruits such as bananas and pineapples grow here, even among the snow-capped mountains. Motuo holds deep spiritual significance in Tibetan Buddhist scripture and is often called the Hidden Lotus. Regarded as the purest and holiest area in Tibet, its sacred aura and isolation have made it a place of mystery and reverence. Reaching Motuo is no simple task. The trek from Pai Village to Motuo is a grueling 4-day journey, fraught with landslides, mudslides, and hazardous terrain. The Motuo Highway, completed in 2013, connected the county to the outside world for the first time. However, the route remains susceptible to natural disruptions, keeping the area challenging to access. For adventurers willing to endure the difficulties, the journey rewards them with stunning waterfalls, verdant forests, and breathtaking views of the mighty Brahmaputra River. Motuo is also home to the Motuo State Natural Reserve, often called the Natural Museum of Tibet. Its ecosystems range from tropical vegetation to alpine flora, making it one of the most biologically diverse areas in the world. Number 5. Point Nemo. Point Nemo is famously known as the oceanic pole of inaccessibility. Tucked away in the South Pacific Ocean, this spot is the farthest point from any landmass on Earth, an incredible 2,688 kilometers from the nearest shore. Point Nemo sits equidistant from 3 of the planet's most remote landmasses: Bouvet Island in the Pitcairn Islands to the north, Motu Nui near Easter Island to the northeast, and Maher Island off the Antarctic coast to the south. Its isolation is so profound that the closest humans to Point Nemo are often astronauts aboard the International Space Station as it orbits approximately 400 kilometers above the planet. The surrounding waters are part of the South Pacific Gyre, a vast circular current that creates an oceanic desert. This current blocks nutrient-rich waters from reaching the area, resulting in a region with very little marine life and some of the clearest waters on Earth. The emptiness of Point Nemo's ecosystem makes it eerily quiet and untouched. Due to its extreme remoteness, Point Nemo has become known as a spacecraft cemetery. Since the 1970s, more than 300 decommissioned spacecraft, including satellites and space stations, have been intentionally deorbited here to avoid endangering populated areas. In fact, NASA plans to deorbit the International Space Station at this exact location in the year 2031. The name Point Nemo comes from the Latin word for no one and is also a nod to Captain Nemo from Jules Verne's classic novel 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Adding to its mystique, Point Nemo inspired H.P. Lovecraft's story The Call of Cthulhu, where he imagined the fictional underwater city of R'lyeh nearby. While Point Nemo takes us to an isolated stretch of the ocean where even astronauts seem closer than people on land, Cape Melville reveals an untouched natural fortress hiding secrets and life forms frozen in time. Number 6. Cape Melville. Cape Melville is a rugged headland on Australia's Cape York Peninsula, where enormous granite boulders form an impenetrable barrier, preserving a lost world of rare ecosystems and species. Cape Melville's landscape features massive black granite boulders, some as large as houses, stacked hundreds of meters high. These formations have protected the rainforest from bushfires, creating a humid, sheltered environment unlike any other. In 2013, scientists led by Dr. Conrad Hoskin from James Cook University uncovered species found nowhere else, such as the Cape Melville leaf-tailed gecko, shade skink, and blotched boulder frog. Even today, much of Cape Melville remains unexplored due to its harsh terrain. Scientists believe more undiscovered species may be hidden within this natural fortress. The area is also culturally important to the Yithiwara people, the traditional custodians known as the Saltwater people. Nearby Stanley Island has Aboriginal rock art, some of the most significant in Australia, offering a glimpse into a culture deeply tied to the land. Cape Melville National Park is accessible by four-wheel drive vehicles during the dry season from May to November. The park features dramatic coastlines, mangroves, heathlands, and rainforests, providing a rare chance for adventure. However, its remote location demands careful planning and self-sufficiency. Number 7. Sarisarinama. Hidden deep within Sarisarinama National Park in Venezuela near the Brazilian border, Sarisarinama is both a natural wonder and a mystery. This tepui, or table-topped mountain, is steeped in legends and biodiversity, revealing a world that few have ever explored. Unlike most tepuis, the summit of Sarisarinama is blanketed in dense forests. This isolation has fostered a unique ecosystem filled with rare plant and animal species found nowhere else. Adding to its mystique are the tales of the indigenous Yakwana people, who say the mountain's caves are haunted by malevolent spirits. The most striking feature of this tepui is its massive sinkholes. There are 4 in total, with Sima Humboldt being the largest. It measures 352 meters across and plunges 314 meters deep. At the bottom, it widens further to an incredible 502 meters. Close by is Sima Martel, which is equally astounding at 248 meters deep. These massive, circular sinkholes sit just 700 meters apart, creating a rare and breathtaking aerial view. Pilot Harry Gibson first spotted the sinkholes in 1961, but it wasn't until 1974 that an expedition dared to explore this forbidding landscape. Using ropes, they descended into the sinkholes but struggled to climb out due to the widening chasms. With few alternatives, the team resorted to cutting trees to make room for a helicopter to land. This sparked concerns about harming rare species, highlighting the fragility of this unique ecosystem. In 1976, a better-equipped expedition discovered a third sinkhole, Cima de la Lluvia, which housed a quartzite cave. This cave, measuring 1.35 kilometers in length, held the title of the world's longest quartzite cave for over 20 years. But what if I told you there's another towering marvel nearby, one with carnivorous plants, ancient legends, and a history that has captivated explorers for centuries? Stay tuned to discover its secrets. Number 8. Mount Roraima. Mount Roraima, a flat-topped mountain at the meeting point of Venezuela, Brazil, and Guyana, rises to 2,810 meters, making it the tallest peak in the Pacaraima Range. Formed from Precambrian sandstone over 2 billion years ago, this incredible natural wonder is one of the oldest geological formations on Earth. The mountain's isolation has created an extraordinary ecosystem. Its summit is home to carnivorous plants like pitcher plants and sundews, which thrive in nutrient-poor soils, as well as rare amphibians and insects unique to this environment. Mount Roraima has also inspired popular culture. Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's The Lost World imagined a plateau filled with prehistoric creatures, while the 2009 animated film Up featured a mountain modeled after its flat summit. The first documented ascent of Mount Roraima occurred in 1884, when a British team led by Sir Everard M. Thurn climbed it using a natural ramp on the Venezuelan side. This path, called La Rampa, remains the main route for modern trekkers. The challenging terrain and remote location have preserved the mountain's pristine condition, making it one of the least disturbed places on Earth. For those seeking adventure, the journey begins in Para Itapúi, Venezuela, and usually lasts 6 to 8 days. Trekkers cross savannas, rivers, and climb the steep La Rampa to reach the summit. Though the trek is moderately challenging, the unpredictable weather and rugged terrain require proper preparation and experienced guides. Number 9. Ilha de Queimada Grande. Ilha de Queimada Grande, widely known as Snake Island, is located about 33 kilometers off the coast of São Paulo, Brazil, and is infamous for its astonishing population of venomous snakes. This small island, covering just 430,000 square meters, is home to one of the world's deadliest snakes, the golden lancehead pit viper, a species that exists nowhere else. The golden lancehead thrives on Snake Island due to the lack of natural predators and an abundant food supply, primarily migratory birds that land here. Recent studies estimate the island has between 2,000 and 4,000 snakes, averaging roughly one snake every 75 square meters. Snake Island's rugged landscape features patches of rainforest, rocky outcrops, and grassy clearings, partially shaped by historical deforestation. To safeguard both humans and the snakes, the Brazilian government has banned public access. Only the Brazilian Navy visits occasionally to maintain the lighthouse, and researchers allowed to study the island must carry special permits and be accompanied by licensed medical professionals. Despite these restrictions, illegal activities by biopirates seeking to capture golden lanceheads for collectors or pharmaceutical companies have been reported. These ventures not only carry severe legal consequences but also pose significant risks for anyone brave or foolish enough to set foot on the island without proper preparation. Would you take the chance to explore such a deadly and mysterious place, or does the island's chilling reputation convince you it's best left untouched? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe and follow our channel to uncover more fascinating stories. Number 10. Pitcairn Islands. The Pitcairn Islands, a British overseas territory in the southern Pacific Ocean, are made up of 4 volcanic islands: Pitcairn, Henderson, Ducie, and Oeno. Of these, only Pitcairn Island is inhabited, making it home to one of the world's smallest and most isolated communities. Established over 2 centuries ago, Pitcairn is now home to just 50 residents as of 2024. Reaching this remote island is no small task. With no airport and challenging docking conditions, the island depends on the MV Silver Supporter, a multi-purpose vessel connecting Pitcairn to Tahiti and Mangareva once a month. This ship serves as the community's main link to the outside world, delivering essential supplies. The people of Pitcairn are highly self-sufficient, relying on fishing, farming, and crafting to support their way of life. Residents speak both English and Pitcairn, a unique Creole language that blends 18th century English with Tahitian influences. The island has a small school with only 3 students, a health clinic, a post office, and a general store. For further education, children typically travel to New Zealand. For those lucky enough to visit, Pitcairn offers unforgettable experiences, from whale watching to stargazing beneath some of the world's clearest and darkest skies. The island is also famous for its distinctive honey, a reflection of the pristine environment that surrounds this remote community. Number 11. Namuli Mountains. Mount Namuli, standing at 2,420 meters, is Mozambique's second highest peak and the tallest in Zambezia province. This granite monolith, part of the Namuli Massif, rises over 1,600 meters above the surrounding plateau, making it both a geological and ecological marvel. The mountain is a biodiversity hotspot, hosting numerous endemic species like the Namuli apalus, a rare bird, and Vincent's bush squirrel. Its unique ecosystems, found on steep slopes and higher elevations, attract biologists and conservationists eager to study its flora and fauna. Additionally, Mount Namuli serves as a vital water source, feeding rivers such as the Lacuno and Malaima. Tea cultivation dominates the lower slopes, with the nearby town of Guru serving as Mozambique's tea industry hub. The middle slopes are used for other agricultural activities, while indigenous forests are mainly found at higher altitudes and along stream corridors. These forests are crucial for biodiversity and regional water conservation. Mount Namuli holds cultural significance for the local Makua people and served as a place of refuge during Mozambique's civil war, adding historical importance to its natural beauty. The mountain was first surveyed in 1886 by British consul Henry Edward O'Neill. Later ornithological expeditions in the early 20th century revealed its rich birdlife. However, conflicts and the mountain's remote location halted significant research until the late 20th century. While the climb is not technically demanding, Namuli's isolation and cultural importance have limited efforts to reach its summit. Number 12. Danakil Depression. The Danakil Depression, located in Ethiopia's remote Afar region near Eritrea, is one of the hottest and lowest places on Earth, sitting about 100 meters below sea level. With average daily temperatures of 34 degrees Celsius and less than 100 millimeters of annual rainfall, this region is as extreme as it is fascinating. Situated at the junction of three tectonic plates along the East African Rift, the Danakil Depression is shaped by intense volcanic and hydrothermal activity. The Erta volcano contains one of the world's few permanent lava lakes, while the Dalol area features surreal sulfuric acid pools, salt formations, and toxic hot springs. These alien landscapes resemble Mars, attracting scientists exploring the limits of life on Earth. The region also hosts more than 30 active and dormant volcanoes, vast salt flats, and remnants of ancient lakes, including frozen black lava flows. In 1974, this remarkable area yielded a groundbreaking discovery, the 3.2 million-year-old hominid fossil Lucy, a milestone in understanding human origins. Despite the unforgiving conditions, the Afar people have lived in the Danakil Depression for centuries. These resilient nomads extract salt from the vast flats and transport it using camel caravans, preserving ancient traditions in a place few could endure. The Danakil Depression's otherworldly beauty is beginning to attract adventurous travelers. However, its intense heat, remote location, and occasional security risks make access challenging. Visiting is recommended only through organized tours with experienced guides. Would you dare to explore a place where survival is a daily battle? Let us know, and don't forget to follow our channel for more incredible destinations. Number 13. Bouvet Island. Bouvet Island, a volcanic landmass in the South Atlantic Ocean, is considered the most isolated island on Earth. It lies approximately 1,600 kilometers north of Antarctica and 2,400 kilometers southwest of South Africa's Cape of Good Hope. This uninhabited Norwegian territory remains one of the hardest places to reach. Covering 49 square kilometers, Bouvet Island is 93% covered in ice, with its highest peak, Olavtoppen, reaching 780 meters above sea level. The island's steep, icy coastlines make landing almost impossible, and its harsh climate discourages human activity. Discovered on January 1, 1739, by French explorer Jean-Baptiste Charles Bouvet de Lozier, the island was initially mischarted and left undiscovered for decades. In 1825, British whaler George Norris landed and named it Liverpool Island, but Norway annexed it in 1927, declaring it a dependency in 1930. Despite its frozen environment, Bouvet Island is a critical wildlife habitat, hosting penguins, seals, and seabirds like snow petrels. Recognizing its ecological importance, Norway designated it a nature reserve in 1971. Human activity is limited to scientific research, including a weather station established in 1977 and a Norwegian research station built on the Neuroisa Plateau in 1996. Bouvet Island also holds unsolved mysteries. In 1964, an abandoned lifeboat was discovered in a lagoon with no trace of its occupants, raising questions that remain unanswered. Additionally, the Vela incident of 1979, a mysterious flash detected near Bouvet, sparked speculation about a covert nuclear test, although this theory has never been proven. Number 14. Kerguelen Islands. The Kerguelen Islands, also known as the Desolation Islands, are a remote archipelago in the southern Indian Ocean. Located more than 3,300 kilometers from Madagascar, these islands rank among the most isolated places on Earth. The archipelago consists of one large island, Grande Terre, and about 300 smaller islands and islets, spanning a total area of approximately 7,215 square kilometers. Its rugged terrain, shaped by volcanic activity, glaciers, and deep fjords, is matched by a harsh climate with frequent strong winds, constant cloud cover, and cold temperatures. Despite the challenging environment, the Kerguelen Islands are a haven for wildlife. Seabirds such as albatrosses and petrels nest on the islands, while marine mammals like seals and whales frequent the surrounding waters. The islands also host unique plant species, including the Kerguelen cabbage, which is adapted to the cold and windy conditions. There are no permanent residents on the Kerguelen Islands. Instead, France maintains a rotating population of 45 to 100 individuals, including scientists, engineers, and support staff, who live at Port-au-Français, the main settlement. This small community conducts research in biology, geology, and meteorology, taking advantage of the island's untouched environment. Reaching the Kerguelen Islands is an adventure of its own. With no airports, the only way to access the archipelago is by ship from Reunion Island, a voyage that takes around 2 weeks. This extreme isolation has helped preserve the island's ecosystems, making them one of the least visited places in the world. Number 15. North Sentinel Island. North Sentinel Island, part of India's Andaman and Nicobar Islands, is home to the Sentinelese, one of the last uncontacted tribes on Earth. Strict Indian laws protect the island and its inhabitants, banning all outside contact to preserve their isolation and way of life. The Sentinelese are believed to have lived on North Sentinel Island for about 60,000 years. They are hunter-gatherers, relying on the island's natural resources for food and survival. Known for fiercely resisting outsiders, their hostility toward contact is well documented. Even in 2024, the Sentinelese remain one of the world's most mysterious societies. In January 1991, a brief peaceful interaction was recorded by the Anthropological Survey of India. However, this event did not lead to further contact or studies. The island remains largely unexplored, with its flora and fauna still undocumented. The Sentinelese' strong defense of their territory makes it clear they want no interference from the outside world. Culturally, the Sentinelese are thought to live in small temporary huts and use canoes to fish in shallow waters. Their language, distinct and unrelated to those of neighboring tribes, reflects their centuries of isolation. These barriers to communication and access make their way of life one of the least understood in modern anthropology. Interestingly, North Sentinel Island is also recognized as a globally important bird area, highlighting its ecological significance. Yet its natural environment, much like its people, remains shrouded in mystery due to its inaccessibility. If you enjoyed today's video, please hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Your support means a lot to us. Click on the video that appears on your screen right now. I'm sure you'll love this content. Comment below about the next country you want to see featured on our channel. Thank you so much for watching and see you in the next video. Thanks for joining us. Leave a comment, give it a like, and don't forget to subscribe for more interesting videos. See you in the next video.